Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Susie the Blissful Crafter. I'm Susie, and I hope all of you mothers had a beautiful Mother's Day. I know I sure did. I got to spend the day with my son and his wife, my beautiful daughter-in-law, and my parents, my grandmother, my brother, and my husband, of course, who did some cooking and cleaning today. So I just got to sit back and enjoy, which was great. And my stepdaughter is stationed in Hawaii for the Army, and we will be going to see her soon. But I did get a phone call from her today, which was great. So I had a perfect day. Hope everyone else did too. I had a pretty busy week, but I did get a couple of fun projects done, and I'm very excited to share those with you. So without any further ado, we're going to get right into crafting today. Here we go. So we are going to make a shirt, a t-shirt. We're actually celebrating Mother's Day, my mom's birthday, and my stepfather's birthday, which all happen within the month of May. We're all celebrating that together soon. So my stepfather loves t-shirts that I make for him, and he's always coming up with different sayings. So we are going to make a t-shirt for his birthday to go along with the other gifts that he's going to be getting for his birthday. So we are going to go to the canvas. We logged into Cricut Design Space. We are going to go into the canvas, and he wants the shirt to be a black t-shirt with white lettering saying, "With enough coffee, I can rule the world." He is a big coffee lover. So we are going to go ahead and do that just with simple text. And I'm going to show you some different things that I'm going to try here. So here we go. We're going to click on the text box. I'll go to a font that I like. I've got my bookmarked fonts up here. So we're going to click on that. These are some of my favorites. Now I want to keep in mind that I want it to be a masculine font because it is for a man. And I want it to be thick enough that it'll cut nicely. So this BFC birthday party from Cricut Design Space is always one of my favorites. So we're going to click on that, and you will see it changed. I don't know why I had two of those, but we're going to go ahead and start with this one. So I'm going to click on that so I can start typing. And we'll go with enough. So we'll change this to say coffee. I need to click on it. And I kind of line this up as I go, and then we'll get to how we're going to get to the finished project later. Whoops. Okay, so we're going to keep this pretty simple and cut it out. Now with my t-shirt, it's a large size t-shirt that I'm working with, and we'll take a look at that when we're at another angle. Excuse me. But I can work with about 11.5 inches to fit on my mat to cut out on my Cricut. So we'll probably go pretty big with this. Maybe we'll go to 11. And then I'm going to make coffee big by itself because I want coffee to stand out. Obviously that's too big. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get them pretty lined up. I like to have even spacing. So I'm going to get this up to the top. So that first one is about 1.5 inches tall. And I'm going to bring this up to the 2-inch bar there. So I've got about 1/2 inch in between. And so I'm going to bring this one up so it's about 1/2 inch in between as well. And we're going to do the same with this last one. Now I want this all to be centered. So we're going to highlight everything, and we're going to go up to align, and we are going to center horizontally. So now I know that it's perfectly centered. I'm going to do this in white heat transfer vinyl, but I'm just going to leave it all in this color because it's all going to be the same. So I don't need to do different colors on the screen. So now I've got it centered exactly how I want it. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this again, and I want to attach. Since it's all the same, being cut out on the same mat, it's all the same color, I can just click attach and I'll be okay. The reason I'm attaching this is because I want, when I cut it, I want it to all stay in the same place. That way I can just put it all together and I don't have to place things in different spots for it to line up on the t-shirt. Hopefully that makes sense. When we look at it from another angle, it should make more sense. So now that I've got everything done that I wanted, I'm going to go over to make it. And you're going to see this come up, and it fits just about where we need it to be on the Cricut mat. Because we are using heat transfer vinyl, you absolutely want to mirror it. I've forgotten that a couple of times, and it's a big pain. So make sure if you're doing heat transfer vinyl that you are mirroring it. We're then going to continue. And I am going to use regular heat transfer vinyl just in white. So I'm going to click Everyday Iron On. And me personally, you know, doing my Cricut, everybody has different preferences, but I like to do the more preference just so I know it has a nice clean cut. The next thing we're then going to do is we are going to load, and I will show you that from another angle. And then it's going to give us the option to click on the flashing C that's on the Cricut, which I will show you from another angle as well. Okay, you can see now, excuse me, that I have a black t-shirt, just a plain black t-shirt. This is a Gildan Ultra Cotton. It is 100% cotton, and this is a size large. I've gone ahead and measured already. I do want to use the full Cricut mat, pretty close to it in width, which is 11.5. So we got pretty close to that. And now we are going to take what I put on the screen in Cricut Design Space, and we are going to cut. Okay, so I have my Cricut mat, and I'm going to remove the top sheet, and we are going to line up the white heat transfer vinyl. So I'm going to go to the top of the mat, and I'm going to place this shiny side down, or the side that is the actual vinyl. We're going to place that down, and so we're going to try and line it up here on this side and at the top as well, as straight as possible. There we go, much better. You're going to smooth it out so you don't have any bubbles or wrinkles or anything like that. Now I want to double check before I cut this to make sure that I have enough, because this is my last piece of white. So when I look at my screen, you can see, well, you may not be able to see, but I can see that the bottom of the word world goes down to about 9.5. And that's where my paper, my vinyl, not my paper, my vinyl goes down to a little bit further than that. So we should be good. Okay, and now we're going to cut. This is nice and in there tightly. You don't want it to be wonky, you want it to be straight. We're going to press to insert that, and then we're going to give it a second, and we're going to see the C flash. That means it's good to cut. Okay, it's done cutting, so we're going to go ahead and eject, and then we're going to move on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the heat transfer vinyl from the Cricut mat, And then you're going to see, you probably can't see it too well on the camera, but I can see where it's been cut. So what we're going to do is we are going to start weeding. And everybody has their own technique for weeding. I personally peel back from the corner and then I use my hands gently. It's cut really nice, so I don't have to be super gentle, but I certainly don't want to tear anything. So I just peel away from my fingers and then I'll go in and get the smaller stuff. And I just peel along as I go to get those letters. Got to be careful around some of the inside parts of the letters. And I try to go like from the side over, if that makes sense. And you know, it's a little bit of a tedious process, but you just have to be careful. Make sure you're pulling gently enough so that you don't tear anything, but it does take a little bit of strength there to pull that off as well. And when you're looking at this, the letters should be backwards. If they're backwards, you've done it right. If you can read the words, and this is for heat transfer vinyl, you forgot to mirror. So the letters should look backwards. And while we're here, for the reminder, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you like tips on different types of crafting, Cricut using, and I'm going to be sharing all sorts of other things. So please be sure to like and subscribe. Okay, so now you can see that I've taken off all the extras, and I just have to go in and weed the inside parts of the letter, each letter. So we're going to take our weeding tool and just take out, you know, the inside of the O here, and here's another O that needs the inside taken out of. Couple others. Here's the R, inside of the A, and then there's a whole bunch of them here in the bottom. Okay, so now we're done with that, and I want to share with you to make sure that you look at it all and make sure that you did not forget to weed anything, because you definitely don't want to press this with the heat press and realize that you forgot to weed something, because there are ways to remove things, but it's a pain, and I'd rather just get it right the first time. So we're all good. With enough coffee, I can rule the world. So we're going to go ahead and head over to the heat press, and we will press this on the shirt. I now have my black shirt laid out that I'm going to use, and the first thing I want to do before I put anything on it is I want to make sure I have a lint roller, which I do have, and I want to make sure that I get everything off of this shirt. So I'm going to roll up and down. Whoops. I'm going to roll up and down to remove everything off of it that I can. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of hair, and it falls out a lot, and I have had hair and other things down on the shirt when I've heat pressed it, and then it's really fun to try to get out of there. So you want to take your time, get everything off of there. Meanwhile, I have my heat press warming up. I'm setting it to 350 degrees. Okay, that is great. I am now going to take what I've cut out, and I am going to fold it in half, because I want my letters to be lined up. So I'm going to fold that in half like so. Make sure everything is straight, and I want to have a nice seam. It's harder than it sounds, but I want it to be as good as possible. Then I'm going to pull it apart. So I want to have a seam. Hopefully you can see the seam here, because what I'm going to do then is, now, even though the t-shirt press is not fully heated up, I can still go ahead and heat up my shirt. We're going to put the shirt in. I'm going to get my Teflon sheet. And I'm going to heat press this. It's only at 185 degrees right now, so I'm going to do about 30 seconds. Okay, that's been 30 seconds. I'm going to pull it out of the heat press, remove, be careful because the shirt and the Teflon sheet will be hot. Now I am going to fold the t-shirt in half. You can see what I'm doing here. And I want to make sure it's really straight from the collar down to where we're going to press. Okay, that feels good. So you want it to be at least as far down as where your heat transfer vinyl is going to be. Now I'm going to, we're at about 230 degrees now, and I'm going to press this down for about 20 seconds. Now that it's been 20 seconds, I'm going to pull it out of the heat press while it continues to heat up. Again, remember that sheet is hot. Okay, we're back to the black t-shirt, and now I'm going to place my words, my heat transfer vinyl down, and I'm going to use that line in the middle. So I want to come 3 fingers down from the top, and I'm going to line up the crease, the seam that I made for cutting this halfway, or folding it halfway, because I want to make sure that it is straight on the t-shirt. And I don't want to have to get out a ruler every time I do this. I'm going to take a look. It looks nice and straight. And then next step is to put in the heat press. So we are going to go ahead and press the shirt. So we've got it all lined up. Be very careful on my heat press. It's hot at the top, so I definitely don't want to burn myself, which I have done before. You want to make sure that it's pulled back far enough that it's going to get pressed from the top to the bottom all the way. You don't want to have any of the words hanging off. We're going to then put Teflon sheets over, and I'm going to press this for 45 seconds. Okay, it has been 45 seconds, so we're going to remove. Again, remember this is hot. I swear my fingers are so callous that I don't even notice it anymore. We're going to take it out. And some heat transfer vinyl is cold peel and some is warm peel. And we're going to go ahead and remove this one. This one must be a cool peel. You should know that ahead of time. So I'm going to let this cool for a moment. I like to start peeling from the top corner and go down. And you want to just pull very gently. You don't want to go ripping it off like a Band-Aid. You want to go very gently so you don't take anything off the shirt. And I use the same process as when I'm weeding. I go from left to right. Okay, now that that's all removed, we will take a look at our finished product. All right, friends, that's all we've got for you today. I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions for me, please shoot them in the comments below. Everything that you see today that I'm able to list is put in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we're going to sign off today with some kisses from Kona. Say bye-bye, Kona. Bye-bye, Kona. You give me kisses? She's being a little stingy with the kisses today. Say bye-bye. Have a good week, everybody, and we'll see you next time here on Susie the Blissful Crafter. Bye-bye.